We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for the white male over 50. One of the rules is always come early and always stay late because that's where the real stuff happens. And so I have so many questions. I mean, it's insane. I'm 62 and it's like the more like like I don't I don't understand. Like I don't understand people. I don't it seems like more do I have do I have more questions? Um do I have more questions for other people or do more like is the white male over 50 is he more curious than others? Is he more curious about women, children, Latino, black, Indian, Chinese? Like is he more curious? Like I just had a question. Like I wonder like moms, especially stay-at-home moms, like they're kind of forced into, right? They're kind of forced into um where they have to care about their kids, right? So they have to care about their kids. Um I don't know, can I so they have to care about their kids. And so once they go ahead and once they go ahead and their kids leave home, do they become like do they become self-centered like because they lost who they were caring about? um and is the white male over 50, especially the business owner, like I don't know, can you stay in business if you don't care about other people? Like oh, there's so many questions that I have. Like and it's just crazy. So, anyways, hey Nora, um, do you have questions? Like so many questions.
Sure, you could say that.
What are some of your questions?
Hmm. Let me think about it. I feel like I came unprepared.
So I'll keep asking questions. I'll keep asking questions um, until I've got. I mean, I got so many questions. It's insane. So we just had grandchild number 12, and little Edward, just a little pumpkin, like he's 2 days old. Like, I mean, like outside the womb. and and it's just, I don't know, it's just fascinating to me. Like, what were we doing 3 days ago? Now, this little guy comes into this world, and Grandpa's like, how in the world do I prepare him? Like how in the world do I prepare him? How do I care for him? How do I like one of the coolest things and most frightening things, like when you have a son or a daughter, like you get like let's say potentially 18 years with them, not 24/7, but a lot of time. But as a grandfather, like I only probably saw my grandfather 5 times in my life. And he absolutely just in a couple interactions. I mean, so I'm like, how do I live up to that? like, like, How do I impact my grandkids? Like, like I was impacted by Grandpa Boersma. What's fascinating is Grandpa Ninshauser on my mom's side. I saw him a lot. Like he didn't die when I was 9. And he was lived out in Topeka, Kansas, and so he was a pastor too. So I don't know. I probably saw him 30, 40, 50 times at least, quite a bit. And but I don't know. Like there wasn't. He was a nice grandpa. I liked him, but I don't know. Not the connection. So Elaine, do you have any questions?
No questions. I was just looking forward to the ones that you're having. So,
I mean, it's like again, you can interrupt. Either one of you can interrupt. You guys have questions because,
Okay, I
um,
have one question.
yeah.
This is gonna open up such a big can of worms. I
Oh,
love it.
I love
Um,
worms. So much fishing's gonna get done today with all those worms.
so my question is, should women be treated like they're difficult?
Well, I mean, if not, then you'd be a pathological liar, right?
You mean if you would say that they shouldn't be treated like they're difficult, or
Well, yeah, if you don't treat them, that's not being honest. I mean,
so
that would
you're
be living
saying
a lie.
women? Interesting.
I mean, that wasn't a can of worms. That's just one worm. Dang, that's not even a hard question. Like,
So do you think that if they're treated like they're not difficult, do you think that allows them to bloom and be everything God created them to be?
oh no, I think that how they're created, they're controlled by their environment. Totally have no choice in the matter. And so if they're difficult, it's not their fault. They're women, right? It's the environment the reason they're difficult is because they were treated difficult. If they weren't treated difficult, they wouldn't be difficult. No, I totally get it.
okay, but what is difficult actually? I mean, what are you talking about when you say difficult, Nora?
Me?
Um, like just I mean, I don't know, when you like for instance the phrase, "Oh, well, they're on their period." So it kind of gives that like they're difficult, like the perspective people get when they say that, or when they say that it's kind of uh a way of saying
I
like
hate that.
she's
I hate
being
when people
difficult.
say that. I think that just gives them permission. But either way, like my mom and my two sisters never ever talked about periods. I mean, never. I mean, just never, never. And it was never an issue. Like my mom's got an issue because she's on her period, or that my dad never said, not once, never. My two sisters, it was never talked about ever. Um, And so in our house with 4 girls, it was table talk. I mean, I'm eating my dinner and yeah, well, I'm on my period. Yep, me too. I'm like, really? Girls. Um, but I think that the tendency of women is to always have reasons. There's just always reasons. It's insane. I mean, you guys should have been on the hour and a half trip. Like it's just it's just crazy. Make a mistake by not calling it out. And I know why because if you call it out, Mark, are you saying women are like terrorists? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they're difficult. And if you call them out on their difficulty, they become even more difficult. So they train you, just let them be difficult. And oh my goodness. Now, I and who can you who can you get? Who could Nora get that would validate this in Nora's mind, where it would prove my point that women are difficult? It would be other women. And I mean, not 100% of the time, but I'm saying 80, 90% of the time, who says that women or girls are difficult, more difficult than boys? Far more difficult than
Women,
boys. Who? What kind of women?
women. Um, not sure.
Moms that have boys and girls. Like, I can't even tell you how many moms that have boys and girls, and they're like, my.
Do you think that part of that
Oh,
is
absolutely.
because it is like women are expected to act a certain way and boys they're just expected to be boys?
How are women expected? I mean, are you saying women are expected to be difficult, and so therefore,
No,
yeah,
women are expected to act in a certain way, like little girls, like girls are expected to be, proper and like they're expected to act a certain way. And if
really?
girls would do stuff that boys do, then it's like, you can't do that because you're a girl. Like boys are just, well, they're boys, so they're just expected to be wild and to do crazy, dangerous stuff and whatever.
Yeah, I guess the women, the
Yeah, Mark, you're doing the underwater thing where you can't hear you.
in my world, like oh, just a second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know, Nora. Maybe I had different girls in my life, or maybe I differently. I mean, to me, it's crazy how much girls get away with and women. Absolutely insane. I mean, in church of all places, like when they're teaching and they say, pastors, they say publicly, like, if mama's not happy, nobody's happy. I mean, that's just common. It's just, so it's like everybody seduces women. They just do. And they tell women what they want to hear. This is why, somebody who has social autism, has some challenges because, like, by and large, most women have not been told, hey, sweetheart, like, I'm just telling you, like, you're not the center of the universe. And it's almost like they think they are. And the ones that are really funny are the ones that don't, that say that they don't think they act like princes, but they do. Like it's just, and I'm not saying it derogatory. I'm just saying it's like they're kind of created to be that way. And I don't know. Does that answer your question, Nora?
Yeah, I think it does.
How does it answer your question?
Gives me your perspective on it.
So there's a woman that was at a marriage seminar. Her husband did most of it. And but she got up and spoke, and she went ahead and said, she said a lot of interesting things. And one of the things she said is women have lots of choices. Men have too. Work or go to prison. Like those are the two choices. And so I think women are hungry for truth. I mean, I think they're hungry for truth. I don't think anybody's telling them the truth. And I think down deep, they want to know the truth, but nobody's telling them the truth. I mean, it's fascinating to me how many people want to be black or be Indian. Why? Why do you want to be something maybe you weren't created to be? Because you think that being black or Indian has a lot of benefits. And the black or Indians, they get ticked. They get ticked if you go ahead and say, you're black. Like when you're not, man, they get really miffed. Or Indians, it's like, well, why would somebody want to be something? Because there's a lot of benefits. A lot of boys want it. More and more boys want to be girls. Why? Because they see how good they get treated. And so women, it's so fascinating when women go ahead and rebel against that. But you'll see, especially moms that have all boys, if they have a number of boys and they don't have girls, they'll go ahead and see how mistreated boys are. And I'm not saying boys shouldn't be mistreated. I'm not saying, so it's almost like girls, they want all the benefits of being a girl, but they want all the benefits of being a boy too. Like they want all the benefits of both. And it's like, that is just weird. So do you think you would be able to communicate what you think my perspective is on that?
That you think women are difficult.
You don't think they are? Or you
I
do?
think it's I think it's perspective, but I think a lot of women are just told that they're difficult, and so they live in that.
Why would somebody do that?
You mean tell people that they're difficult?
No, why would somebody, well, Mark, you're difficult, so therefore I'm going to be difficult. Why would somebody be something that somebody told them to be if they weren't that? That's just weird.
Well, but it's like if you're told often enough that you are difficult, then you you just kind of tend to sort of believe it, maybe.
I
And if you
think
don't have,
if you're lazy mentally, emotionally, yes.
well, I mean, you can beat someone down to the point where they don't like, if you hear something about yourself and you start to like,
See, I don't think you can. Not a real man. A real man, you can go ahead and do anything you want to do, and a real man's not going to allow it. Well, Mark, do you think a real woman would? No, I don't think a real woman would either. I don't think real women, real men, you can go ahead and say whatever you want to say. But real men, real women, they're not, they're really that way. And they're lazy. In addition to being difficult, they're also lazy.
well, but if they don't have the, like the tools or the knowledge to overcome that or to like navigate through that, then
Well, that's where
it's going to be hard for them to know how to overcome it.
Beth Smith, she says she's a therapist, and she says every human being has a therapist inside of them so they can figure it out. I mean, there's a guy that I know, he was he was raised on the wrong side of the tracks. His dad beat the living daylights out of him, alcoholic, drugs. I mean, unbelievable. So he didn't, and he made it through. And as far as I can discern, he's a loyal, faithful, hardworking, husband and father. And so, I mean, he didn't have it, but somehow he did. He figured it out.
Do you think that there's a difference in women and men in that aspect of it?
I don't think. I think,
Well,
I mean,
You don't think
there's,
that they're created differently?
oh, they're totally created differently. Totally created differently. But I think a woman, I mean, there's a woman who was trafficked and she became, she's being raped 30 times a day as a little young girl. And she goes ahead and makes it out of that and becomes a successful businesswoman. And then she goes ahead and creates an organization that goes after the child trafficking. So, yeah, I think that men will thrive out of that. They will figure it out. I think God gives everyone the capability of figuring stuff out. They can find it. They will find it if they want to. A man or a woman. I think a woman will find it differently than a man. I think different types of men will find it in different ways, but I think everyone has the capability. And my heart goes out to women, who and dad's in prison or don't know who their dad is and mom's a drug addict. How do you survive that? But some do. So if they do, then it is possible. So in I think it's Outliers, pretty sure, by Malcolm Gladwell. So over in Vietnam, I think it was like all these families the kids were starving. And they brought in all these highly educated, the doctorate, all these really educated people. Nobody could figure out how to go ahead and turn it around. And some guy came in, don't think he was that educated, and he found that, I don't know, there's 100 families, and there's a handful of families that have the same food, same everything, but their kids aren't malnutrition like the others are. And so so what they did is they studied those and they found out they were preparing the food in a different way. Like Clarence Thomas, is it Clarence Thomas? I don't know. One of the Supreme Court, one of the top guys, black, inner city, mom raised him, no dad. And he went ahead and went on to have phenomenal success. And so
I think it's kind of like the same thing where my grandmother, before I was 16, my grandmother told me that I'm going to go in the same footsteps as my mom, and become a pregnant unwed mother. And I determined that I'm not going to be the same just because statistically I could have, but I didn't.
yeah, it's weird. It's like women who are raised by abusive fathers or alcoholic fathers will often marry the same type of man, which makes no sense. Like, what? But they will, or they will do the opposite. And so when you're told you're going to do something, lazy people do it. And then they have an excuse. You told me that. People who went ahead and are told, like Elaine, she was told, you're going to do this way. She's like, no, not going to do it. And so I think that one of two things. So it's interesting. My youngest son, when he was 15, I said, hey, well, how would you rate, me as a dad? And I think he said a 7 or something. I said, okay. And, and will be one suggestion on what I could do to be a better dad. And he said, don't call me lazy. And I thought I was being a good dad by helping point him out. This is not going to go well for you. It's not going to go well for you. So I thought I was being a great dad and telling him that. Like, you have a choice, but your propensity is you're lazy. I'm just telling you. So from that point on, I'm pretty sure I've never called him lazy. And it's fascinating because he was working at a warehouse and, he said it. He told me there was a black woman there. And she said, Tim, you're lazy. And he respected her. He liked her a lot. He thought it was really cool that she had the courage to say, hey, Tim, you're lazy. So I think the more that you're told something, when you look at any of the cartoons, there's the villains almost always a child, as a child, they were told something and they believed it and they became a villain. I mean, Elon Musk, he said the reason he bought Twitter was because he was bullied. So, I mean, I think it goes back to like Elaine, she said, hey, I'm told this, but she went the opposite direction. And so,
Do you think that has a lot to do with personalities? Because some person, like I would have been the same way. Like when my mom kicked me out, she was like, "You just need to fall flat on your face," and I'm gonna like I'm not gonna do that. Like I left with like $400 and built a life for myself. And but a different personality, if you tell them that, then they just kind of like, okay, like I guess I'm just gonna fall flat on my face.
yeah, I think the different personalities will do it in different ways. I mean, which of the four personalities the most stubborn is going to be the amiable? They are. They are the most stubborn, bar none. I mean, they're the most flexible too. So they're, where do you want to go to eat? What do you want to do? And they don't care about 80 to 90%, but boy, when they care a lot. And so they get locked. And so I think they can get locked and say, I'm going to prove you wrong. Okay. The analytic, same thing. So I think any one of the personalities, can go ahead and I think they respond differently, but I think they all have a choice. And some have a harder choice than others. And they will either, fall flat on their face and do exactly what, there's a young man that I've known for 4 years, and his dad went ahead and told him, you're going to end up in prison. And I started working with him, and I could see how this kid could end up in prison. But I could also see the upside of it. And this guy, he can change the world. But he's probably going to do one or the other. He's going to end up in prison, or he's going to change the world. And so I think hopefully me believing in him was hopefully helpful to where, and he made some really good choices. And so I think that, I think it's cool. I think it's cool if you go ahead and have somebody that believes in you. But I think if you have nobody that believes in you, I still think you can succeed. And I think if you do succeed and nobody believes in you, everybody's telling you you're something. And if you do make a choice to succeed, I believe that you will be far stronger than somebody that has told you, your whole life that they believe in you. So I think there's something about a quiet confidence, or something about. So how do you go ahead and help people have that? I don't know. So do I want somebody in all 12 of my grandkids' lives that believe in them? I sure do. I absolutely do. But I do think that there's a weakness in that too, that can come with that for sure. So I don't think it's black and white. I think it's really complex. I think there's a lot of, lot of nuances mean, my younger brother, Dan, he has his master's degree, went in the military, was in the Marines for 22 years. And he's got two daughters and a son. And one daughter's a saver and another one's a spender. And he's like, they're both raised in the same home, same parents, same environment, everything. And they're just different. And he's like, do parents have, any control, any influence? And it's like, I think so. I think they have a lot. So when you look at, this is the sixth anniversary of Jonathan's death. And, there's a constant, like, what could have I done better as a dad? And so he was a hard kid. Holy cow, was he a hard kid? Man, he was hard. But, 10 years he and I, worked together in business, and man, it was hard. Holy cow, it was hard. But we made it through that, and the last year was like, heaven on earth. I mean, it was unbelievable how much that young man had grown. I'll be forever grateful and thankful for that last year. But, three of the other kids, I don't know. Two of them, people would say they're doing, or one of them, they'd say, I mean, three of the kids, they would say they're doing really good. And I can see they are. I can also see, I don't know, there's some cracks in the foundation. It seems like there's some leaks in those pipes. They go ahead and there's some hairline fractures. They go ahead and get some really tough stuff. And I don't know, are they going to be able to hold it together? I hope they will. Another one, people would say she's doing good, got a job, engaged, and so she's doing good. The other two, their dad just like, I hope they even make it, but I don't. I mean, the thing I did not understand, appreciate in the depth is the influence that a woman has on their kids. I don't know that I agree with Patrick, but I wouldn't disagree with him. I thought that, a powerful dad, I thought that a powerful dad, that if I worked hard and I went ahead and did all of this stuff, that I could overcome anything. But the ones that are having challenges, they have similar patterns. It's somebody else's fault. They have a hard time taking personal ownership. There's always a reason. There's a pattern there. And so it's almost like a virus. And how do you prevent that from happening? How do you cure it once it gets in? But definitely kids have different temperaments. The Bible says, train up a child in the way. My understanding is the original is in their bent or their personality. And so we have been gifted with some very, very difficult children. So if you ask, are women difficult? Oh my goodness, they're so difficult. If you said, is that good or bad? I'd say it depends on the perspective. I think it's good for men because I think it builds men. They learn patience, they learn discipline, they learn to go ahead and give, they learn love. Because women are so difficult, it makes a boy into a man because they're so difficult. If you were to say, what do you think about, boys and men? I mean, I wish my mom was alive because you could ask her. I don't think I was a difficult kid. Yeah, there were some couple things, not the smartest choices, but by and large, by and large, I wish, like a lot of parents say, man, I hope my kids aren't like me. I've never said that. I wish they were. But in them being so difficult, there's no question I am the man I am today because of my wife and my kids. And I am thankful for that. Anything else, Nora, you got?
I do not.
Elaine, anything else you got?
Nope.
So I think one suggestion I would give, and I don't know, I'll speak for myself. I won't speak for other people. I would think it's probably true with other people, maybe not. But for me, if anybody's listening to the podcast and you think you've got me figured out, then I would just say, I think I've got you figured out. I think this is your position on women, children, Black, Latino, pastors. It's pretty complex. I mean, there's a lot of nuances that are there. So hopefully this has been as helpful to all of you as it is me. This is my therapist, Beth Smith. She says, she says you talk to me a lot less, Mark, when you're actively involved in good podcasts. So it's good therapy for me. Hopefully it is for all of you. Always remember we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.